So, a time that I experienced social inequality was not directly towards myself. However, it was against one of my friends that I was attempting to get him a job at the time. I witnessed this when I was working over at McDonald's, and my friend, he didn't come from the same socioeconomic status as the rest of the community that we grew up in. He was a little bit of a minority living in the town where we lived in. So I kind of lent him some clothes to the interview, and he was a bit smaller than me, so they didn't fit very well, but his appearance was more than appropriate for a high school McDonald's interview. When he walked in for his interview, I could tell that he was a bit nervous, so I told him it would be all right. Everyone is a little nervous the first time they apply for a job, but it was easy for me. Now, take in mind, I come from a predominantly white town, so a majority of the staff was hired without questioning, thus showing a little bit of white privilege in this aspect. I didn't notice at the time. I realized it much later, much later than expected, because of the fact that the interviews were easier for myself. Mine consisted of, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And then the next follow-on question was, when can you start? And that was much more relaxed than hiring somebody, unfortunately, of a different race. So here's basically how it all went down. The first question asked was not, how are you doing today? Or, my name's Jeff. Why are you coming here? It was, you probably can't pass a drug test right now, can you? And right at that moment, I was in awe. I was sitting in on the interview, and I didn't know what to say. I wasn't in charge of the interview, so I didn't know where he was going with it. And then he could pass a test, but they really just didn't believe him. I realized later that he was just blatantly discriminated against because of his race and ethnicity. This wasn't just a personal trouble, because the majority of the staff was at McDonald's. It was all predominantly white male with a few white females, those of which that were not had all just assimilated into just accepting it as a norm. He was definitely subjugated because of his race, and that's why it wasn't just a personal issue, and that's why he didn't get hired in the end. And given the opportunity to go back and change things, I would have stopped the interview dead in its tracks, gotten the general manager, and immediately filed a complaint for discrimination in the workplace. At the time, I had just gotten hired and I, I was 16 and didn't really know what to do. I didn't really have any feet in my shoes, so to speak. I couldn't stand up for him if I couldn't really stand up for myself. And I ended up quitting a few weeks later because I didn't want to work at a place where everyone wasn't treated equal.